You know Gray Bar for electrical parts, but there's one more thing you may not be thinking of us for that can help maximize your next project's total value. Our pre-project planning services are designed to help you win the bid, save on labor costs, and keep your installers productive across your entire build. The sooner you call us, the better. Because when we're there from the beginning, we can anticipate your needs and help you solve problems before they become problems. Yep, Gray Bar does that.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into the Minor League Baseball podcast, the show before the show, episode 183. And as you can probably guess, because I am the one introducing the show this week, hello, my name is Sam Dykstra of MILB.com. We're doing things a little bit differently this week. Tyler is off on vacation. He is in the nation of Colombia. He called a big tournament down there, spending a couple extra days exploring the Colombian landscape. And, you know, for anybody who knows Tyler and how hard he works in calling those games and as well as working for our site and a bunch of other entities, it is a vacation well-deserved. So we're going to let Tyler take some time off. We're going to make it a little bit of an abridged episode this week. We do have an interview with Arizona Fall League star and number 2 Royals prospect Khalil Lee, who will be participating this weekend in the Fall Stars game. So check that out here in a couple minutes. We also have Ben Hill is back after he took the break last week with us. Tyler was in Colombia. I was in Scotland. I'll save my thoughts on that for another venue. But if you ever get a chance to travel the Scottish Highlands, I highly recommend it. So a couple other just house cleaning things to take care of here real quick. If you want to go to the MILB.com site, since we went on our 1 week break, all the Milby Award winners have been announced except for one. The one that is yet to be announced is Best Team. That's still to come. So check back on the site to see which club won that for both the staff pick and the fans pick. But I'll just run through the rest of the winners here real fast. And please go to the site, find these features that we all wrote for these categories. We all did big time features on the staff winners. We also had smaller write-ups on the fan winners. There's no real award here. We don't hand anything out, but we kind of treat them otherwise equally in the way we share things and the way we notate that. So check out these features to find out how these guys won their awards, what went into their big 2018 seasons, and lots more. So here are the winners for this year so far. Top offensive player, no surprise. The staff pick for that was Vladimir Guerrero Jr. The fans went with Taylor Ward for top starting pitcher, The staff pick was Chris Paddock of the San Diego Padres. The fans went with Michael King of the New York Yankees. Top relief pitcher, Colin Pache, was the staff pick. Matt Pierpont was the fans' selection in that one. Breakout prospect, which is the story I wrote, and again, I implore you to read that. Our staff pick was Minnesota Twins outfielder Alex Kirilloff. The fans' choice was Peter Alonso. For best farm system, the staff pick was the Tampa Bay Rays. The fans went with the Atlanta Braves. And just as a brief aside on this, because we're getting filled with a lot of mentions on this, it's what farm system had the best year. It's not which one we're looking forward to and predicting will have the best major league talent going forward. It's just what team had the best year. So, the Rays, the staff pick, again, read the feature on that. The Rays as a system had a winning percentage above 600. That was a big reason why we chose them. They also had 2 league champions, which is a big reason again for that. The Braves, the fans went with them, and obviously a strong year. They had a lot of guys make the major leagues, help that NL East team win its division. So good arguments on both sides, just for people who are adding us and saying, like, obviously this system is stronger. That's not what we're arguing. It's just which system had the best 2018. So moving right along here, top promo, which you'll hear Ben talk about here in a little bit, was the Dude Perfect promo in Frisco. Fans vote won. That was only fans vote. We didn't have a staff vote on that because, again, Ben designed the category. We left that completely to you guys. Top photo was an Elvis Andrus ice bath. That also happened with the Frisco Rough Riders. Again, that was fan vote only. Top defensive play presented by Terminix was a Cole Peterson catch in left field for West Michigan. It's really stellar. You should really check this out. Check out these next 3 video categories, actually. Kelsey Hennigan wrote that up for the site. But Cole Peterson was coming from the infield, sprinting directly behind him, made the catch over his shoulder really cool. Top home run, Corey Ray, walk-off, left the entire stadium for Biloxi. That was neat. Best blooper, Wisconsin wins on a 3-run strikeout. Again, not going to fully explain it. You'll want to read the story on that one. Best performance, best individual performance, that is, goes to Spencer Howard for his no-hitter in the South Atlantic League playoffs for Class A Lakewood. That one won both the staff and fans pick, and I think that it's the only one so far in which everybody is in agreement, and for good reason. Game of the year, the staff pick for that one was when Kevin Newman and Jacob Stallings hit for the bicycle for AAA Indianapolis. The fans went with a crazy comeback that Lakewood had also in the playoffs. So again, check out the story on that. We still have best team to come. That'll be up probably by the time most of you guys are listening to this, but I don't want to give anything away just yet. So that's what we've got there. Other things to check out on the site, like I mentioned, Khalil Lee will be participating in the Fall Stars game this Saturday in Surprise. We have the full rosters there. It's a lot of the characters you've come to know and love. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. will be there. Forrest Whitley will be there. I think there are 13 top 100 prospects in total. Check the site for those full rosters. We also have links to the roster pages in case any changes happen between now and then. Those are updated very quickly, so check out those as well. That's all I'm going to say here at the front. We're going to have the interview right now with Khalil Lee, then we'll have Ben, and we're actually going to wrap with Ben, which is something I don't think we've ever done before. But just a couple other house-cleaning things. Just follow me on Twitter. I am at Sam Dykstra, MILB. Tyler is at Tyler Mon, and Ben is at Ben's Biz, in case you didn't know that. Feel free to email us. Next week we'll be back with a full podcast. We'd love questions from you guys that you want us to answer. We'll probably be doing, in the next couple weeks, our Arizona Fall League draft between me and Tyler, which is always fun. We make our own Arizona Fall League lineups going back and forth. I always enjoy that a lot. But, it's the off season now. We're looking, we want to talk about the things you guys want us to talk about. So email us at podcast@milb.com. Fill up our mentions with any questions you have. We'll try to get to them next week and beyond. But yeah, thanks so much for listening. And now we'll get into the actual meat of the podcast here with number 2 Royals prospect, Khalil Lee. Joining us this week on the Minor League Baseball podcast, the show before the show, is number 2 Royals prospect and current Arizona Fall Leaguer, Khalil Lee. Khalil, thanks so much for joining us. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And one of the funny things about watching the AFL yesterday, following the AFL, we're talking here on Thursday, November 1st, but yesterday, obviously being Halloween, saw a bunch of AFL teams doing BP in kind of costumes. Did you guys get a chance to do this? And if so, what were you wearing out there?
No, we did not get a chance to hit in our costumes. Yeah, I know. It was. We had a late day yesterday. We had BP in the cage, but a lot of our guys wore their costumes to the field. So that was pretty fun to see everybody wearing their costumes to the field. I wore my it wasn't really a costume, but I kind of dressed up as Michael B. Jordan in Black Panther.
Okay.
One of the scenes that he was, one of the scenes he tried to look like him a little bit, so that was pretty cool.
You didn't
my
actually
little Killmonger outfit.
You didn't actually scar your body like Killmonger, though, right?
No, that's taking a lot of work.
Yeah, that's
I don't have that many kills. I don't have that many kills. He had a lot of kills in that movie.
That's true. All right, so what's your favorite Halloween memory then? If you didn't get to do that, like I saw Monte Harrison hit in a, I think, WWE outfit yesterday, which was really cool. What's your favorite Halloween memory going back a couple of years, maybe when you were a kid or something like that?
Going back, we really didn't celebrate Halloween like that. So, I mean, I just, remember in school, I guess, getting all the candy and all that. That was pretty much the most part for me. The best part for me was getting all the candy at school. So.
Yeah, no, that's still the big thing, I think, even going into an adult. So we'll take that. Let's pivot to baseball. Big thing coming up for you this week in the Arizona Fall League Fall Stars game. You got named to the West roster, which is particularly loaded in the outfield. Looking at it, there's yourself, there's Estevan Florial, Christian Pache, Buddy Reed, Luis Robert, Cavan Biggio. What are you looking forward to most about playing in that game, and what does the participation mean to you at this point in your career?
It's just, it's a great opportunity again, like I said before, earlier, being selected to play in the Arizona Fall League was a big, opportunity for me. And then being able to play in the All Stars game is just, even greater honor. It's going to be fun, be able to play with a lot of the best guys and the best of the best, so that's going to be really fun, and just play alongside some guys I'm probably going to see within the next year or so in the big league. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
How do you approach a game like that where, it is it's kind of a showcase? It's a chance to show off your tools, your readiness, all of that, alongside some of those names, like I mentioned earlier, going against some of the top pitchers in a league that is known for showcasing, obviously, some of the top talent in the game right now. How do you approach it? Is it just a fun game, like kind of dessert off to the side, or does it take a little bit more of importance for you?
It's treated like every game. I mean, every game I go in there confident and ready to perform. I mean, it might be a little bit more serious than every other game. There's money on the line. The winning team, every player gets $500 cash. So that might, change a little bit of the seriousness for a normal All-Star game. But just other than that, I mean, I'm just going in there ready to perform and ready to compete at the highest level.
That's one way to incentivize it for sure. All right, so let's talk about the AFL as the whole. What did the Royals talk to you about your goal in sending you here? Because you're still pretty young, even for the AFL. You're only turned 20 in June. You're coming off your second full season. After being a third-round pick in 2016, they kind of accelerated your timeline a little bit by sending you here. What kind of conversations did you have with the Royals about their expectations for the Fall League and what you should expect as a player going there?
Just really what our plan was is just to keep continuing what I've been doing throughout the season, and get those extra at bats to challenge me and see some better pitching, see some better competition, get me ready for the next level moving forward. And, hopefully, seeing this competition here, and it'll prepare me to get ready for the big leagues.
What's been the standout moment so far for you of the Fall League? Either seeing, some prospect, some other name that you had always wanted to see, or going up against a certain pitcher that you had always wanted to kind of measure yourself up against, or just featuring in a really loaded lineup maybe one day. What's been the standout moment so far in your couple weeks down there?
Honestly, everybody here is pretty good, but just being able to battle. I think a couple of games ago I faced Forrest Whitley a couple of times, and able to battle with him, and have a couple good at bats, put a couple good at bats together. But also hitting alongside or in front of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. That's pretty cool. Being able to be a table setter for him and have him join me in. So that's been pretty fun too.
That sounds like pretty much the full Fall League experience, given where the headlines have gone so far. What did you notice about the way Whitley was pitching you?
He threw a lot of off-speed pitches for me, I think, and he was just able to spot up for the most part. I mean, I battled him pretty good. Got him to the full count a couple of times, and he just, he was throwing all his pitches for strikes and able to locate really, really well. So that was something that I thought really stood out for me. I could tell how he's going to be a future big leaguer.
Okay, let's go back to the regular season. You mentioned the Royals sent you here to get a couple more at-bats to kind of build on what you did during the season, and you got off to a really strong start this year at Class A Advanced Wilmington. You were eventually named a Carolina League mid-season All-Star, which is really neat. 71 games there with the Blue Rocks. You hit .270 with a .402 OBP, 14 steals, and an .808 OPS, building on what you had done the previous year at Class A Lexington. What were the points of emphasis for you coming into this year and allowed you to build what looked like kind of a stronger offensive foundation, at least to start the year with Wilmington?
Just coming into the season, I was trying to focus on putting the ball in play more and cutting down my strikeouts. Just being able to use my speed and let that work for me. So every time I put the ball in play, make something happen in the field and give myself a chance to get on base.
I'm glad you mentioned the strikeouts because that was something I wanted to bring up. At Lexington in 2017, you struck out 171 times. This year between Wilmington and AA Northwest Arkansas, you brought that down to 103. But the power also came down. You hit 17 homers at Lexington, only 6 this year. Was that part of the shift in strategy? Was just making more contact and allowing the power to kind of back up a little bit, or how did you change your approach to make as much contact as you did this season?
Yeah, I mean, when you cut down on the strikeouts, you do change a little bit of approach. It's more of my 2-strike approach. I cut down a little bit. Also playing in Wilmington, the Carolina League, that's a tough league to hit home runs in and show power, but yeah, I mean, from my understanding, I'd rather, get on base and drive runs in and cut down my strikeouts than, hit a whole bunch of home runs and strike out a lot. I feel like I'm helping the team more by getting on base and, like I said before, using my speed to help the team out in that aspect. As I get older and as I get stronger, I keep developing. The home runs are gonna come. That's not something I'm really worried about. Just worried about, like I said, being consistent and hitting the ball in play, putting it in play hard, and getting on base and helping the team out.
Yeah, and you mentioned your speed a couple times there. One thing that stood out to me as well this year is your efficiency on the base paths. In 2017, you stole 20 bases, but you were also caught stealing 18 times. This year, you had 16 stolen bases and were only caught 5 times. What do you attribute that to? I mean, how were you able to be that much more efficient in stealing bases? Because the scouting reports, everything you read, everything you see about the way you play on the field, you have above average to plus speed, so it's definitely there. But how are you able to evade the caught stealings much better this year?
Yeah, just as I'm growing as a base runner, I'm learning what counts to run in, and when I can run on a pitcher that is throwing a lot of off speed and in a certain count, or if he's really slow to the plate, just really nitpicking at those little details from the pitcher and situations, things like that. So, also I think I'm getting a little faster. I'm working on my speed every off season. Just working on little things to help me on the base path.
You mentioned your time in North Arkansas kind of briefly here, but you got 29 games there. Numbers came down a little bit, kind of to be expected. Like I said, you were only 20 and you got a bump to AA, and Texas League can be kind of tough sometimes for hitters. But what did you take away from your time at AA? I mean, that's a point where guys usually say they can start to taste the major leagues. You're only 2 spots away, and people have been called up straight from AA to the majors before. What was your experience like with Northwest Arkansas, and what do you carry from that going into the offseason, going into the fall league, and going into 2019?
Being in AA in Northwest Arkansas, I felt like I was just treated like a big leaguer. I felt like I could just, like you said, just smell the big trees right around the corner. And just seeing everybody that I'm playing against and playing with, that everybody in that league is, right there just knocking on the door, waiting for an opportunity, that got me really excited. And, just taking that into the fall league and into the off season, I can see that I'm really close, and that I just need to keep working, keep pushing, so I can, eventually reach my ultimate goal of making it to the big leagues.
And what was something that was eye-opening about your time at AA that kind of gave you something specific to work on, whether it was in the fall league or the off-season?
One is seeing a couple pitchers, a couple position players that played against in AA, and then see them on TV in the big league for not even a week later. That's pretty eye-opening to me. That kind of, like I said before, it shows me that everybody's just knocking on the door, waiting on an opportunity.
Right.
So,
do you have any
to see that?
You have any names offhand that happened with?
I don't have a name right now, but see them here in the fall league too. There's a right-handed pitcher for the San Diego Padres. I forgot his name. We just faced him the other day. And there's another left-handed pitcher for the Astros that was in the big leagues this year as well. But C.D. Pelham, left-handed pitcher for the Rangers.
Yep.
Faced him, and he was in the big leagues as well. So, and he's actually on our team here in the Arizona Fall League. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, very neat.
So.
And
Yep.
One thing I wanted to talk to you about as well is, for anybody who didn't know, when you went into the draft in the third round in 2016, that some people, according to reports, were looking at you as a pitcher. Things have obviously worked out pretty well as a position player so far, but we're in the age now of Shohei Ohtani and Brendan McKay being two-way players potentially going into the future. Maybe there's a shift in the game there. If you could redo it, would you have tried to be a two-way player? Do you feel like you could cut it that way?
Well, I'm still trying. I'm still talking to our pitching coordinator trying to let him pitch. But no, I'm happy with my decision. And, like I said, like you just said, hitting's working out so far. So I'm trying to continue that. And whatever the Royals need, they need a hitter, they need a pitcher. I'm ready both ways. Just let me know.
There you go. Well, yeah, we should mention that because of your arm being so good, you've gotten 29 outfield assists so far in your career, which is really, really good and just phenomenal. Have you gotten a chance to throw in front of a radar gun anytime soon, or the Royals not even letting you get near that?
No, that's as long as I'm hitting the cut, getting the ball down, they're happy. They're not worried about velocity or not letting you get down or get on behind the radar gun. So
fair enough. All right, so we'll leave you with this one. Obviously you still have a good amount of the fall league season to play here. With the Fall Stars game coming up. But as you start looking at the offseason and start looking more towards next season, 2019, probably going to be back in the Texas League at AA. What would an ideal 2019 season look like for you?
An ideal 2019 season, that would be just to continue, like I say, continue progressing and get better. And I can't say where I'm going to end up, but I would like I said, to improve my numbers. If not improve them, at least stay around the same. So that means that I did good. If you move up a level and do the same thing you did in the level before, I feel like you got better, because as you move up, the players get better as well. So you're winning at that point. So if I can do that, then I think that would be a good season for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just one more now that I thought about it, looking at kind of the bigger picture here with the Royals system being what it is now, I feel like it's kind of coming on the up and up, adding Brady Singer last year in the draft. Sully Matthias had a really good, powerful year last year. Jackson Cowher is another big name they added in the draft. MJ Melendez, Nick Prado having good seasons, Nicky Lopez, another strong prospect. Where do you feel like the status of the Royals system is now compared to where it was when you were first drafted 2.5 years ago?
Oh, I know, and I very strongly believe that we're going to be good again, that we're going to go back to the World Series. I mean, you just named all the guys that I believe as well are going to get us there, and they're going to help us get back to the World Series. And I know Dayton and everybody in the Royals organization are believing it as well. So we're going to be back there soon, and I can't wait to see it happen.
Well, on that optimistic note, we'll let you go, Khalil. Thanks so much for joining us. Good luck on Saturday in the Fall Stars game and everything that is still to come your way in the Arizona Fall League heading into the offseason. Thanks so much for joining us.
No problem. Thank you.
Now we're joined, as we always are, each week when we actually have a show, which we do this week. We are joined now by Benjamin Hill. Ben, how are you? Welcome into the show.
Doing well, and I'm really glad to hear we have a show.
Yeah, I know,
week.
right. I'm sorry. I was gone last week, as I said earlier. Tyler's gone this week, so it's just me and you doing this. But we do have a lot to talk about because it has been a while since we had the show.
Did you miss me?
Of course I missed you. I was in the middle of Scotland on an island in the middle of the North Atlantic, and I thought, I wish Ben was here right now.
Thank you. That's all I wanted.
Yeah. So while I was gone, we got a new MILB identity in the Rocket City Trash Pandas. You got to write this story, as you do so often with identities and brand new logos and all that kind of stuff. So what stood out to you about this? This team isn't coming into fruition until 2020, right?
Right. So, so let's give a little background on this. This franchise, the Rocket City Trash Pandas, might not give the average fan an awareness of exactly where they're playing.
Right.
They're playing in Madison, Alabama, which still might not give you a great indication of where they're playing. But Madison is the greater Huntsville area, which of course fielded a team in the Southern League for decades in the form of the Huntsville Stars. And it was always agreed that the market was decent, but the stadium they were playing in just wasn't really cutting it, Joe Davis Stadium, and the Stars went to Biloxi. So now we have the Rocket City Trash Pandas, who are going to replace the Mobile Bay Bears, the AA Southern League affiliate of the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. And usually when we're talking about rebrandings and new team names and new identities, we're talking about it for the upcoming season. Here we are in late October, November when the podcast is. In November of 2018, you'd think we'd be talking about an entity that's going to debut in 2019. I think maybe when this all first started, that was the original plan, which is maybe why the timeline is where it is. But the ballpark won't be ready till 2020. So we have the Mobile Bay Bears playing their final season in 2019, while we simultaneously have the unveiling of the Rocket City Trash Pandas, who will take their place in Madison, Alabama, the greater Huntsville area, in 2020. I hope that gets everyone up to speed as well as we can.
Everybody's got Excel sheets up right now that they're moving around and copying and pasting and all that kind of stuff.
I expect nothing less from our listeners.
Yeah, of course.
And so it's the Rocket City Trash Pandas. Why Rocket City? Because Huntsville is an engineering and technology hub, been home to NASA for decades, played a major role in the American space program. There's a technology park that's one of the biggest in the country in Huntsville.
Did I ever tell you my fun fact about Huntsville?
You did not.
I went to space camp in Huntsville.
Well, there you go. You went to space camp in Rocket City.
Yeah, right, exactly. They had a giant version of the shuttle program there, just like on campus, and it was really cool. So that was my one time in Alabama, and it was for something tied to rockets. So there you go.
But you probably did not hear or even think of the term trash pandas when you were a youth at space camp.
I did not.
But it is Rocket City is a reference again to the prevalence of the aerospace industry, the defense industry, NASA in Huntsville. So there's a lot of engineers there. There's a lot of literal rocket scientists. And then you have trash pandas, which is a slang term for a raccoon. It's been a kind of internet popular term for a number of years that then achieved greater notoriety because of Guardians of the Galaxy 2, in which the character Rocket Raccoon was referred to as a trash panda in the movie. So I think that moved the needle a little bit.
Maybe. I don't know. I saw that movie, and I don't remember that line. But still, I know the phrase trash panda just from the overall cultural...
Yeah, so this is not a panda. It's a trash pandas. There's no pandas in this logo. It's a raccoon. And, it's funny. I talked to Jason Klein of Brandiose the morning of the unveiling to get some quotes for the story. And, he was saying something interesting in that, Brandiose has been doing this a long time, and they are often the company behind the most irreverent, attention-getting names, the Jumbo Shrimp and the Rubber Ducks and so many others. And he was saying, they've been doing it long enough that finally they're kind of moving away from the template of announce the name, deal with the backlash, the petitions, the people saying fire your marketing director and all that Trash Pandas was pretty much embraced from the start. It did win the name to team voting, and I was talking to Ralph Nelson, one of the managing partner in the ownership group that's moving the team to Madison, and he was saying, when we looked at the demographics in the voting for name the team, any way you sliced it, Trash Pandas was number one. Granted, they didn't give any traditional options for the fans to vote for, but at the same time, I do think we are seeing an awareness now of what minor league baseball is, where the backlash is not the same as it used to be. I found there to be a remarkable little backlash, even locally speaking, for a team that's calling itself the Trash Pandas.
Right.
And for all the engineering and high-tech jobs that are in that area, it's also Alabama. It's also the Bible Belt, and you'd think there'd be a lot of people, and I'm sure there are, who are just like, this is an outrage. Why aren't we called the Stars again, or the Missiles, or something like that? So it is interesting, but it's kind of par for the course. So we have this primary logo of a raccoon in a garbage can, and he's a raccoon that is very resourceful and very technically and scientifically inclined because he's a Rocket City raccoon. And he has decided he wants to go to space, as raccoons are wont to do.
Of course, yeah.
And so using nothing more than a trash can, using the lid for a helmet, making a calculator or control panel, he has made it to space. And this, of course, Sam, shows the resourcefulness and skill of North Alabamans.
North Alabamans, sure. I don't know about raccoons themselves. I've seen some of them in the park by my house, and they are scurrilous creatures.
Yeah, some of them are just disease-ridden mongrels, but not this
Literal
one.
trash pandas.
Yeah, not this one. He wanted to get to space. And then, this logo tells a riveting story, Sam. The raccoon gets to space, and we have one of the other logos of him planting his flag on an unknown planet after he got to space. So this is really telling a tale. It's not just a bunch of logos. It is telling the tale of this raccoon who decided to get to space and made it. So we have him in the journey, and we have him at the conclusion of said journey, looking very triumphant. The Rocket City Trash Pandas.
Yeah, and kind of extending off of that being, because it is so much of an aerospace theme here. It's not leaning into the raccoon, in which you would think the primary colors would just be black and white, something like that. I know the Hudson Valley Renegades, their mascot is a raccoon as well.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Hudson Valley. Your raccoon didn't go into space. In fact, I don't think it did anything particularly notable. I mean, no disrespect.
Right.
Although they had the raccoon logo first, which they, of course, pointed out on Twitter.
Yeah, they pointed that out very quickly. But it isn't just black and white color scheme here. It's a red, white, and blue color scheme. In one of these logos, the alternate logos, the raccoon is wearing a blue spacesuit in front of the flag. Like you said, he's planting it, or she is planting it, on an unknown planet. There's other rockets involved in here, and I really like these rocket logos. I will say that. The rocket is designed to look like an R. The R is kind of folded in on itself to look like a rocket going around to space. It's got kind of like a halo going around it. That's really cool.
Yeah, and the halo is a C.
See, I missed that. I was wondering why it didn't complete itself there. This is kind of like a new age Milwaukee Brewers. You have to look for the M and the B in the glove. Here you have to look for the R and the C in the rocket. So there's a lot they're going on here. It's not just leaning into the raccoon. They're trying to work in that rocket part of it as well.
Right, and they're telling a story, and now their challenge as a franchise is to keep up this momentum
for a
whole year, while also managing what will certainly be a painful season in Mobile as a lame duck franchise. So there's dual purposes here.
So it's the same ownership group,
right?
Same front office staff, all that.
I don't know about the front office, but the ownership group, Ballcore, bought the team. They now own the Mobile Bay Bears, and so they're going to be running the Bay Bears during their 2019 lame duck season, while also preparing for 2020 new era in Rocket City in a new ballpark in Madison, Alabama.
Cool. And that's just going to be the start, essentially, of a run we're going to go on here in the next couple of weeks with new identities coming out as well.
Logo-vember,
which usually happens because there's the holiday push coming up. You want to push that new merchandise. There's no better time to sell it in the off season than before the holidays. So what other teams we got coming up here in the next couple weeks?
Well, it was postponed. It was supposed to happen last month, but with Hurricane Florence rolling in and whatnot, the Fayetteville team, which was played in Bowie's Creek, and that was always a temporary arrangement the last 2 years. They're moving to Fayetteville, and they're going to unveil their team name on Sunday, November 4th. So keep an eye out for that, the Fayetteville franchise, and of course I'll have a story on that. And then about a week and a half later, we'll have Amarillo, and we've talked about them before.
Right.
And
taking the place of San Antonio in the Texas League, San Antonio becoming a AAA team, Colorado Springs becoming a rookie-level team.
Right, and then Colorado Springs has not unveiled the identity yet but they're going to be rookie level, and that'll be coming up a little bit later, as well as Las Vegas, who are moving into a new stadium and renaming themselves in conjunction with the move, so they will no longer be the 51s. So we've got a lot to look forward to. And we have a couple rebrandings of not new team names necessarily, but new logo new logos to look for in the coming future as well.
Yeah, so that's all that's coming up here in the next couple weeks, and like I said, before holidays, before that kind of push, that stuff you can kind of look out for. Moving over to something I think we talked about before we went on break, was your series called Ben's Best. As everybody knows, now you've been to every minor league stadium currently in use. And as part of that, you started to put together some lists of your favorite things, breaking it down by level: AAA, AA, Class A Advanced, Class A Full Season, Short Season, and then Rookie level. So you started this out with stadiums. I think we kind of touched on that before we left, but kind of go through this quickly for us about what you thought were your favorite stadiums level by level.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, I started this series, and there's going to be several more. It seemed like a natural thing to do in the wake of, as you said, having been everywhere, and these stories always, cause me to pull my hair out because it's so hard to choose, and I'm sensitive, as we've mentioned many times on this podcast.
On this podcast and elsewhere.
Yeah, and elsewhere. Yeah, it's just one of my characteristics, but I got through it, and level by level, with the ballparks, and I'll go through it real quick without commentary, but I'll just mention the names. So if you're listening to this, you can think, oh, I agree, or more likely, like, what is he going on about? And I found it wasn't until I wrote this article I realized how much of a predilection I have for older ballparks. For AAA, I picked El Paso, opened in 2014. Southwest University Field, home of the Chihuahuas. That's not a newer ballpark. But then going down from there, AA, Reading Fightin' Phil's First Energy Stadium, opened in 1951. In Class A Advanced, picked Jackie Robinson Ballpark, home of the Daytona Tortugas, opened in 1914. I mean, it's changed a lot, but it's been there.
That's when it opened,
in some form. In Class A, McCormick Field, home of the Asheville Taurus, opened in 1924. In short season, Nat Bailey Stadium, home of the Vancouver Canadians, opened in 1951. And in the Appalachian League, I picked Bowen Field, home of the Bluefield Blue Jays, which opened in 1939. So outside of El Paso in 2014, we are talking all stadiums that opened in 1951 or earlier. So I got old man sensibilities. What can I say?
Yeah, that was my favorite thing about this, is just learning about what you look for in a ballpark, because you could have gone any direction on organizing this. It could have been just your top 5 parks and the minors. It could have been whatever. But doing it level by level, just seeing how there were still some themes that struck through there. Even though each of these stadiums are built for different leagues, different scenarios, different players, all of that, but it was still the older stadiums you seem to prefer.
Yeah, and that's why I went level by level, because to make rankings when you're comparing across the levels just seems a little unfair, because there's so much variation in the size of the facility and the market it's catering to and whatnot. But yeah, I do like the old stuff. I'm an old man at heart, and actually getting kind of close to an old man in reality too. And then the next week I did food, and as regular listeners of this podcast and who read my stuff are aware, I have celiac disease, so this was a tough one. I was like, should I pick the ones that I've actually been able to eat? And I'm like, that alienates too many people. Although I do feel, I heard from some celiac disease advocates on Twitter saying, like, hey, can you highlight what you're able to eat? Can you highlight what options we have? Fair point, and something I need to do. Absolutely. But I went through just items that kind of spoke to a sense of place that I either may or may not have eaten, depending on when I visited. But, I always had the designated eaters at every ballpark who consume the food that my gluten-free diet prohibits. And again, I'll just go down very quickly through this, and you can think about what you agree and disagree with. But in AAA, the Memphis Redbirds Rendezvous Barbecue Nachos is what I went with. In AA, it was the what did I go with in AA? Oh, the Rudy's Loaded Baked Potato, home of the Frisco Rough Riders, topped with brisket, sour cream, cheese. You like that one, Sam?
I do like that one. I had many baked potatoes on my trip to Scotland, but none of them had loaded brisket.
Yeah. I mean, and that thing, you pick that thing up and it weighs it's like a bowling ball.
And then I'm sure it weighs on your stomach as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's ballpark food. Class A Advanced, I'm not sure if they're selling it anymore. They were in 2017 when I visited, but the Wilmington Blue Rock Sweeney Dog, which is the glazed donut bun with a hot dog, bacon, and raspberry jam.
You can't even see the hot dog anymore in this picture.
No,
it is buried under bacon and sweetness in the glazed donut, and then the jam, like you said, which I think throws it over the top a little bit.
It is over the top, but and if you recall when that one was announced, it was like a true viral sensation. It got so much attention all over the place. Class A, I just went for something totally memorable, the Colossal Hickory, which is basically like everything they sell at the concession stand in one plate. Pulled pork sandwich, burger, hot dog, onion rings, corn dog, jalapeno poppers, and of course they have that contest where if you can eat it in the span of 6 hours, which could be anywhere between 10 minutes and infinity, you get it for free and you get your name on the Wall of Fame. My designated eater, when I visited, got within bites of finishing and then had a reversal of fortune.
What was the last thing they had left?
It was just kind of like a assemblage of
a
mishmash. Mm-hmm. But Alex Ward, shout out to him. He did a great job. In Class A short season, they don't do it every day, but during Sunday home games, and of course when they suit up as the steamed crabs, the Aberdeen Ironbirds have steamed crab feasts at the ballpark. That's one I can actually eat, and it's pretty phenomenal to think about going to a game, having a beer if you can have one. I can't. Everyone should feel bad for me, but and you're just watching a baseball game and using a team logo mallet to enjoy a supremely messy crab feast, and those things are of course steamed with an Old Bay seasoning, and it just is by the time they get out of the steamer, it's this sludgy Old Bay mess over everything.
And you brought these home with you afterwards, right?
The team gave me some leftover crabs, and I took them all the way back to my home in Brooklyn after Googling like how long they lasted, and it seemed like it was going to be good, and I had a crab feast by myself in my kitchen. And then rookie was tough, and
you kind of got around some stuff on this.
I kind of hedged on this, but for rookie, I went with a team that is yet to play rookie ball, Colorado Springs. So technically I had this when they were a AAA team, but it was during the last weekend of this season, and it was an item referencing one of the finalists in their Name the Team contest. Colorado Springs, one of the 5 finalists, is the Rocky Mountain Oysters, which would be a pretty, even by minor league baseball standards, if they choose that name, that'll be a new level. Because the Rocky Mountain Oyster is, there's no other way to put it, a deep-fried cattle testicles. Mm-hmm. And so that could be the team name. Regardless, they unveiled this burger on the last weekend of the season. My designated eater, Zeke Perez, actually was able to have the first one. The Rocky Mountain Oyster Burger, and this is like a half-pound burger with bacon, and then on top of that are the titular Rocky Mountain Oysters. With a refreshing aioli on top.
I was going to say, the sauce looks very good. For being what it is, it does look delectable, I'll say that.
Yeah, so you can get on me for choosing a rookie-level item for a team that is yet to play in rookie ball. I got mascots coming up tomorrow, the same day that this podcast will air, choosing some of my favorite mascots. Again, sure to be very controversial. I don't shy away from controversy. I embrace it, but... talking about my favorite mascots is next in the series, and coming up after that, I think I'll do a best views, not just favorite ballparks, but the ones that's offering the best views, my favorite views. I might do favorite ballpark characters, just fans or longtime employees or what have you. Might just do quirks. Maybe that'll just be on the blog. Who knows? But this will continue throughout November as a way to keep looking back at the season. Meanwhile, on the blog, believe it or not, I still have some road trip content coming. I'm in the final throes of that. A Colorado Springs post went up today. I have one more from Colorado Springs, then a couple from Grand Junction, and that will officially complete my 2018 road trip content, which also officially completes everything. I think in the future I'll do this in a different way, but it was important for me to do it in this torturous, slow, kind of redundant way, just so every single team is represented the way I've done it through the years from 2010 to now. And once I've done that, which is imminent, then I will think about ways to do things differently in the future. But for now, it's finishing like I started, and my off season is just around the bend.
Yeah, and I feel like that'll be like your own rebrand at that point.
It kind of is, yeah. I kind of do need a rebrand, a refresh, a new identity, a diet. Exercise, healthier forms of living, less drinking. I'll stop now. But it's that time.
Yeah,
it's a time for reinvention.
Right. Well, that'll be a theme of the off season. I think we're just going to end up wrapping the show here. So thank you for joining us, Ben.
Oh, thank you, man. Wow.
I know. Yeah. No, you're never around for the wrap. We'll just wrap now, just to make this kind of our own special little thing this week.
Yeah, this is an honor. Well, thank you for having me, Sam. I missed you when you were in Scotland. And wish I could have been with you on those rolling hillsides. Mm. And Tyler, we miss you. I know you're having a great time in Colombia.
In Colombia.
And I'll take my own vacation one of these days. But until I'm done my work, duty calls.
All right. Well, that'll wrap up the show this week. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We'll be back next week with a fuller show. Tyler will be back for everybody who misses Tyler, including ourselves. But we'll be back with more AFL news to talk about, more interviews, more Ben, everything you guys like. So we'll talk to you guys then. Have a good week, and thanks for tuning in to the show before the show.
Sam, you were sitting to my left.